Hi, this is a page on the Guardian newspaper's website, and it's about an exercise from the book that I wrote with my wife called The Family Project. And the exercise is called What is Your Earliest Memory? Very simple. But you actually have to do the exercise to yield any results. And I'm going to show you how a number of well-known writers and artists approached it. And it should give you a sense of how finding images help to find words, and finding words might help to find pictures. So here goes. What is your earliest memory? Here are some of the people who approached it. One is the journalist and author Sarfraz Manzoor, who used photos to make a kind of a collage and a montage, and he put the photos together. There's a picture of him as a little boy living in a house a bit like this. And you go into what you see in more detail here. When I was a little boy, I lived with my family in a little house that looked a little bit like this. Mum worked till the early hours behind a Singer sewing machine. She only earned a few pennies per dress. They cost more in the shops. I lived with my sister, brother and parents. Dad worked in a factory and Mum worked at home where she wasn't looking after us kids. She made dresses like this. And I've probably gone the wrong direction. Look, he's actually added arrows. I should have gone that way. And then my earliest memories are of helping Mum by piling the dresses into stacks and tying them with string. Mum did so much for us, it was nice to do something for her. An additionally interesting thing about this exercise was that we asked the contributors what they felt about doing the exercise, and at the end Sarfraz said, and this was in 2015, my mother is old and frail now and needs her children to tolerate and take care of her. It's not always easy. Making this collage reminded me why we do it, and took me back to a time when Mum struggled and sacrificed for us. It reminded me of the debt her children owe her, a debt that can never be fully repaid. Which I think is a really touching piece of work, and looking back at it. The next one I'm going to show you is from Philippa Perry, the psychotherapist and television presenter and artist, who I was very happy to find out was willing to do this exercise. And so you can see that Philippa's not taken photographs, she's drawn things, and there are more words. In fact, there's quite a lot of words here. There are quite a lot of words here. They're related to this dog. I won't read it all, but you see that Philippa remembered this is a white metal tube, this is a turquoise canvas. Maybe this is why I like this colour so much. Also, I'm holding a black rubber hose. It's warm from the sun but rapidly getting cold in my hand. I recognise the smell now as dried seawater. So there's something very interesting about the smell and the touch and the colour of things that comes from Philippa trying to really investigate her earliest memory. There's also a story here about a family dog having to be put down and not really understanding what that meant at first. Philippa said afterwards, I tried to re-immerse myself in the memory. Myopic close-up textures and smells. I must have always been short-sighted. So that was an outcome from doing the exercise. And Stephen Appleby, who's an illustrator and wrote comic strips and so on for The Guardian at that time, and maybe still does, I don't know. And you can see a mixture of comic effect illustrations, highly finished illustrations. Not everyone's going to be able to do that, but also they're sort of numbered to go with the words. So there's a sense that you might want to borrow something from that. And Stephen said, it was tricky trying to think back and find my first memory, but I really enjoyed it. My parents are both dead, so there's no one to ask. Remembering back to early childhood gave me a lovely, comfortable feeling. It's a very nice thing to know. The next person I'm going to show is Adam Murphy, who at that time, and possibly still, did a brilliant comic strip for the Phoenix, and as well as other things. And I really loved Adam's style and his sense of humour, so I asked Adam if he would do this. I remember vividly a particular white monkey. He could suck all 4 thumbs or stick them in his ears and nose. There's something comic about all of Adam's work. Funny, I mean, and I think that's a great example of it, and how funny these things are. I also remember the country house gardens where I lost him, like the monkey, the rhododendron bushes. And then Adam's written on the arm of some adult, dragging him away, "I'm really sorry, but we have to go." He was followed by a sequence of progressively smaller and less wonderful monkeys, culminating in a hard plastic orangutan figurine that fell down the crack between 2 floorboards. This is quite tragic and yet somewhat amusing. After that, my mum said, "All those monkeys who just wanted to be your friend." It's a bit of a haunting utterance. Adam said, "While drawing, I rediscovered all sorts of details, like the thumbs the monkey could stick in its ears and nose." So again, it's this process of creating something that actually generates that triggers something in the memory. I also contributed something myself. I won't give you the whole thing, but I like Sarfraz, used photographs as well as drawings like the others. So I did a screen grab from Google Maps saying where we lived. I drew a picture of my very young self. This, I think, is my earliest memory of being taken into the living room to see a cot on the sofa. I wanted to look, but voices told me to be careful. I had no idea then that this silent newcomer would become my great companion. That's my brother. I also drew my sister. She was 10 and she had a mohair jumper. She was the centre of my universe, and I seemed to get on her nerves a lot. And then referring to this sofa. The great thing about that orange sofa was that if you had little fingers, as I had, you could poke inside the broad weave. And there's my sister with the mohair jumper, looking down at me because she was so much taller. It was odd to remember that my brother was once a stranger. Drawing my sister, who now lives in Australia, made me miss her terribly. I think of her every day. So that's a series of responses to just this one exercise from the book, The Family Project. And these are now about 7 years old. And so I never really made enough of The Family Project. I really always wanted to do something more with it and to share it with people. So that's what I'm doing. It says every family, turn your family story into an heirloom. Every family has stories, happy ones, bittersweet, and everything in between. So I know you can't see this, but I can, so I'm going to read the rest of the text here. Most people would like to share some kind of a record, but how to start, how to use photos or illustrations, and how to put it all together. In this series of emails and videos, I'll show you how to break it into small steps, make something beautiful from your heartfelt fragments and share it. The recommended price is £150, but times are hard and I want to make this available to everybody. If you can't pay £150, pay £10 or £50. If you can't afford anything, well, bless you. I hope your situation improves, and you're welcome to join for no fee. So now if you want to sign up, just go to my website, the homepage. You see the second thing on the page is this thing, turn your family story into an heirloom. Click on the picture, you'll go here and you can sign up. And I just really want to make this something that people do, perhaps as a nice thing to give people at Christmas. It won't cost you much, it'll be fun because you'll think about these things in the same way that Sarfraz and Philippa and Adam and I and others have done. And I'll send you some more exercises and I'll show you how to put it all together. That's all I wanted to tell you. If this seems interesting to you, you now know what to do. I look forward to seeing you if you do sign up. Bye.